Okay, thank you, Ruth. Yeah, really warm welcome, everybody. So my name's Anna, and I'll be teaching the yoga class today. So I'm coming to you live from the Breathing Space Shrine Room, which is in the basement of the London Buddhist Centre. And yeah, I've got behind me this beautiful triptych painting of the Buddha surrounded by disciples and bodhisattvas. And yeah, that's going to be the backdrop to our practice today. So yes, I know that there's a few of you sort of waiting already. So you might have been to one of these classes before, or it might be your first time. So yes, it's really, really great to have you here. Yeah, we're going to get started pretty much now. So just make sure that you've got enough space to practice and that you've got something to sit on, like a cushion or a couple of blocks. And yeah, I'll say a couple of things about the practice and then we'll start. And thank you to Ruth, who is doing the tech and all the lighting. Yes. So if you tuned into the class on Friday, I was teaching that class as well, which was about opening up to the sky. So in a way, you could think of this class, which is called Radiating like the Sun, I believe. Yeah, Radiating like the Sun, as a kind of as a complement or a pair to that Friday class. So the classes have got a bit of an elemental, sort of natural approach this week and last. So yeah, I think I was describing in the last class the way that the sun is always there. So the sun is always, we are orbiting the sun. And that no matter whether or not we can see the sun, we are always in relationship to it. And the sun is always there, whether it's behind clouds or whether it's nighttime, so it's kind of obscured by the earth itself. So no matter where you are at the moment, whether you're inside, whether you're in a windowless room or not, the sun is here with you. And in a way, you know, we take on the energy of the sun through the food that we eat, and we're kind of always part of that process of that sort of exchange of energy, of receiving the energy from the sun. And in a way, so last session, I spoke a little bit about the sky, the sun and the sky, and how whether or not we can see the sky, whether or not it's obscured by clouds, there's always this radiance kind of behind clouds, behind whatever stormy weather is present. And I think it's a really beautiful metaphor for what happens to us sort of inside. So you could say that, or in the Buddhist tradition, the Buddha taught that our natural state is one of love and awareness and clarity. But that is sort of covered up most of the time. For most people, that is obscured by our kind of habits and our conditioning and lots of other factors. But that radiance, that kind of natural state of love and awareness is there, it is within us. And when we come to practice, yoga, when we practice meditation, in a way you could think of it like we're noticing, we're bringing awareness to our distractions, to our habits, and also seeing if we can connect in with the possibility of an inner radiance, an inner light. Or at the very least, noticing how distracted you are. Just noticing that that is a film over your experience. Yeah? That is a kind of that is tinting your experience right now, rather than just taking it as read. Okay, so you can set yourself up for meditation now, and we'll sit for a couple of minutes. I'll sort of guide us through. So when you're ready, you can close your eyes. And feeling the weight of the body as it settles into the ground. Noticing the shape that the body is making. And noticing the temperature of the body as well. So the touch of air on the skin. And just scanning through the body, noticing whether you feel warm or cool. And noticing what the inner weather pattern is like for you today. So it might be stormy or dull, or perhaps you can sense some warmth and light there. And if you're feeling distracted, if you're feeling cloudy, then you can just acknowledge that to yourself. So it's not about trying to make yourself feel sunny or light or loving. So just meeting yourself where you are, just starting where you are. And then beginning to move with the breath. You can keep your eyes closed or you can open them. As you inhale, lift your arms up over the head, reach up. And exhale to bring the arms down by the sides. And you can just keep moving through that. So inhaling, lifting the arms, reaching up. And exhale, let the arms soften down. Yeah, just a couple more like that. So breathing in, stretching up. Breathing out to come down. Feeling the temperature through the hands, the arms. Last one, inhale. And exhale. Good. And then let's come into a side stretch. So take your left hand to the ground. Reach your right arm up towards the ceiling and then lean over towards your left-hand side. So there's a sense of spaciousness through that top arm, that top hand, the shoulder. And then you can float up through center and change sides. So right hand comes down to the ground, left arm lifts up. And then a kind of generous lean over towards your other side. And you can look a little bit down towards the ground as you lean. Good, and then slowly coming all the way up. And let's come into a twist from there. So turn towards your right-hand side, or your left-hand side, and then take your hands across. So opposite hand to knee. So there's this sense of grounding through the hips, but also a kind of rising quality of the energy up through the spine. So breathing in, lengthening through the spine. Good. And then coming through center as you breathe out and change sides. So take the other hand across and just lightly resting on those back fingertips, lengthening up as you breathe in and rotating around as you breathe out. Seeing if you can soften the muscles of the inner thighs, breathing in and breathing out. Good, last breath in and a breath out. Good, and then coming all the way through center. And let's come to standing from here. So we'll come straight into some sun salutations. So just making your way to the front of your mat, coming all the way up to standing. And you can have your feet hip distance apart, or you can have your feet touching one another, spreading out through your toes. And as you spread through the toes, press the feet down, connecting with a sense of lifting through the sternum and through the face. Yes, it's like you're a sunflower, and you're tilting your head a little bit towards the direction. It's like your whole being is kind of lifting a little. And then on the in-breath, lift your arms up, lift the chest. Exhale, bow down, take your hands towards the ground. We'll do this a few times just to start to move and breathe. Take the hands to the shins as you breathe in, lengthen the spine. And then exhale, fingertips to the floor, relax the head. Inhale, circle the arms up, lift the gaze, lift the chest. Exhale, take the hands to the mat, soften your knees, fold forwards. Lift halfway as you breathe in, spine gets long. Breathe out, release the hands and fold. Inhale, reach up through your hands, lift the chest, look up. Exhale again, folding forwards, hands to the mat. Hands on shins, breathing in, lift and lengthen the spine. Breathe out, folding forwards, relax the head. Breathing in, reaching your arms up, lifting the gaze, look up. Good, and then breathe out, hands together in front of the heart. Release the arms, breathe in, reach up, look up. Breathe out, hands to the mat, folding forwards. Lift halfway as you breathe in, spine gets nice and long. And then breathe out. Let's step back into downward facing dog from here. So hands come down, couple of breaths here, spreading the fingers nice and wide. Breathing in and breathing out. You can pedal out a little bit through your feet if you like. Breathing in and breathing out. Good. And then when you're ready, soften your knees, look forwards. And then step the right foot followed by the left foot to the front of the mat. Good. Lift halfway as you breathe in, lengthen. Breathe out, hands to the ground, relax the head. Breathe in to reach your arms up, lift the gaze, lift the chest. Good. And then fold forwards again, hands to the mat. We'll add a little bit to that. Good. So hands up to your shins, lifting through the chest as you breathe in. Breathe out, hands down. Come through downward facing dog first. Press into the hands and feet. Lift through the tailbone. And then from there, rock yourselves forward. So come through a high plank position. Lower your knees to the ground. And then take the chest down to the ground as well. Good. So press the hips into the ground and then lift into a little cobra pose. So elbows in. Chest and face sort of turning up towards the sky, towards the sun. And then gently coming all the way down. Tuck your toes and press back. Come into downward facing dog. Spread out through your fingers. Lift up through the tailbone. Good. And then when you're ready with soft knees, look forwards. And then step the left foot followed by the right to the front of the mat. Hands on shins, lift the chest as you breathe in. Breathe out, fold, relax the head. Breathing in, sweep the arms up, lift the gaze, lift the chest. Good. Breathe out, hands together in front of the chest. So we'll do a couple more rounds and we'll just work in some different variations. So we'll come into some lunges now. Breathing in, lifting up through your hands. Breathing out, hands to the ground. Relax the head. Hands on shins. Breathe in, lengthen through the spine. And then step your right foot back. Take the right knee down to the ground or onto some padding. Lift your arms up as you breathe in. Lift through the chest. Stretch the fingertips up. Breathe out, hands to the mat. Step to high plank from there. Press the floor away as you breathe in. Breathe out, lower everything to the ground. Again, coming to cobra, untuck your toes. Breathe in, lift up the chest, turn the face up. Breathe out into downward facing dog, press back. Good, step your feet a little bit closer towards one another. And take your right leg up and back as you breathe in. Exhale, right foot steps forwards, left knee comes down. Inhale, arms up, chest lift. Exhale, hands down, step left foot forwards. Hands on shins, lengthen the spine as you breathe in. Exhale to fold, relax the head. Arms lift up as you breathe in. Good, second side as you breathe out. So hands to the mat, bowing down to the sun. Hands to shins, lift the chest as you breathe in. Exhale, left foot back, left knee down. Good, arms lift up as you breathe in, chest lifts. Hands to the mat, step to plank. Take a breath in, press the floor away. And then breathe out, lower everything to the ground. Lift chest towards the sun, inhale. Exhale to downward facing dog, tuck your toes. Press back. If you need to take rests at any point, that's always a good option. Inhale, take your left leg up and back behind you. Exhale, step your left foot forwards. Take the right knee down. Good. Arms up as you breathe in. Press into your feet. Lift the chest. Breathe out, hands to the mat. Step your right foot forwards. Good. Lift halfway as you breathe in. Breathe out, folding forwards. Good. This time, lift your arms up and stay there. So keep reaching up through your fingertips. And that sense of lifting the chest up. And a little bit, if it feels okay in your body, firm up your feet, press the hips a little bit forwards, and tilt the chest up. So turn it into a little bit of a back bend. Reaching up, lifting the chest. Good. And then take the hands together in front of the chest. Well done. Let's come into some standing postures. So take a big step out with your left foot, and we'll start with warrior two from there. So bend into your right knee, take your arms out wide. Keep looking along your right middle finger as you drop the front thigh a little bit deeper. Good. So let's stay here for a few breaths. And so I've got quite a lot of light on me. And sometimes when I practice this posture, I like to imagine that the sun is on me, that I'm it feels like a very expansive posture. So there's a sense of kind of radiating sun, radiating light from the center outwards. So you could imagine that you're kind of being bathed in sunlight along the collarbones, along the arms, the fingers. Good, and then let's look towards the back leg. Left hand comes to the back thigh. Right arm lifts up towards the ceiling, towards the sky. Keep bending into the front knee if you can. You're doing great. Let's take a couple more breaths. Again, turning the face up towards the sun. Good, and then press into both of your feet. Slowly come all the way up. Two straight legs. Reach forwards through your right hand. And let's come into triangle pose. So right hand to right leg. Left arm lifts up. Yeah, you can come onto a block, or you can hover the hand away from the bottom leg if you prefer. Keep reaching forwards through the crown of your head. Keep turning the chest up towards the ceiling. Keep the breath flowing. Lovely, and then when you're ready, slowly coming all the way up. And last posture here, let's do Parsvakonasana, and we'll do a little arm variation, okay? So re-bend your front knee, and take your right forearm down onto your right thigh. And then we're going to make big circles with the left hand. So the left hand is going to sweep forwards, up, over, and around. You're going to do that a few times. So big circle, creating space, radiating through the top hand. Good. And then next time your arm is reaching forwards, you can pause there. Again, a sense of turning the chest, the belly up towards the sky. Keep the breath flowing, couple more. Well done. Good, and then slowly come all the way up. Good. So let's take those standing postures on the second side. So go ahead and turn your right toes in, turn your left toes out, and we'll start with Virabhadrasana 2, Warrior 2. So bend into your left knee, take your arms out wide, and look over your left middle finger. Awareness through the back body, even if you can't see it. And see if you can connect in with a sense of expansiveness through the shape. Yes, it's a really kind of proud posture, I think. Kind of generous posture, or abundant. And so see if you can connect in with that sense of kind of openness, of generosity, of warmth. Good, and then look towards your back leg. And take your right hand down to the right thigh. Lift the left arm up and back, so we'll come into reverse warrior, Viparita Virabhadrasana. And tilting the head up towards the sky. See if you can let your right shoulder soften down your back. Lovely. And then slowly come all the way up. Straighten your left leg. Reach forwards through your left fingertips and tip the left hand down. Lift your right arm up. Good. So again, a sense here of sort of resisting gravity, as it were. So of rotation through the chest, of reaching up through that top hand, and firmness through the legs. Couple more breaths. Good. And then when you're ready, pressing into both of your feet, coming all the way back up. You might want to slide your feet a little bit further apart from one another and come into Parshvakonasana. So left forearm to left thigh. Right arm is going to do big circles, so sweeping forwards, up, over and around. And you're going to keep doing that a few more times. Good. And then next time your arm is reaching forwards alongside your ear, alongside your right ear, you can pause there. Good. So nice and strong through your leg. Oh, I'm quite wobbly on this side. I don't know about you. Couple more breaths here. Okay. And then let's slowly come all the way up. Good. And then step your feet together. And we're going to come into a balancing posture from here. So we're going to come into tree pose. So start by fixing your gaze on a point in front of you that's not moving. And let's shift the weight into the right foot. Bring the left knee up into the chest. Good. And then take the sole of the foot either to the inner thigh or to the calf. Yeah. So I used to teach children's yoga, and we used to love doing this posture, and I'd make them do it from child's pose and pretend to be a little seed, and then imagine that they were growing all the way up from the ground, all the way up into a tree. So we're not going to do that today, but you can grow branches if you like, okay? So you can have that sense of reaching up, if you feel steady, with your hands. Arms can go wide. And then just notice if your tree is sort of sagging to one side. And then grow a little bit taller. Yeah, use the energy of the sun to help you grow a bit taller. You can even tilt the head for a moment up, ever so slightly. Good, and then look ahead. Arms can come back down. 2 feet come down. And then go ahead and change sides. So hugging your other knee into the chest. Get your balance, fix your gaze. And then we can take the foot either to the inner calf or to the inner thigh. And there'll be a tendency to want to kind of let the legs sag out to one side or kind of pop out to one side, because it helps you to balance. But see if you can create a bit of resistance for yourself. So press the sole of the foot against the inner thigh, and also press the inner thigh against the sole of the foot. So you create that resistance there. Good. And then you can grow your branches if you feel stable. So arms can lift up and come out to the sides. And you might want to experiment with the position of the head if you feel steady. Couple more breaths. Well done. Good. And then you can look ahead. Knee comes into chest. Everything comes down. Well done. Really, really well done. Okay. That's very, very good. All right. So step to the front of your mat. We'll transition down to the ground now. So breathing in, reaching up through your arms. Breathing out, hands to the mat. Fold forwards. Sun on your back. Halfway lift as you inhale. Lift through the chest. Good. And then exhale, take the hands down. You can step back or hop back. Lower down. Good. Coming into a back bend as you breathe in. So you can take cobra or you can take upward facing dog. Lift the thighs. And then breathing out, step back into downward facing dog, spreading through the fingers. Good. So from here, we're going to revisit a low level lunge, but play with it a little bit differently now. So step your right foot through to between your hands. Take the left knee down to the ground. Lift up through your chest. And this round, slide the stance out a little bit more and allow the hips to soften forwards and down. Not overly, but just a little bit more than previously. Then from there, you're going to sweep the arms up and then cactus the arms out to the sides and see if you can hold here. Yeah, so turning your face upwards, lifting through the chest. And it's as though the chest is being propelled upwards by your shoulder blades. Good, just take one more breath. And then take the hands to the ground. Well done. Open twist from here. So tuck the back toes under, lift the back knee, and then reach your right arm up. So as you press the left hand down, turn the chest, turn the face. Good, and then right hand comes down. Step back, and let's do the other side. So changing sides. Left foot steps forwards. Right knee comes down. Pad it up if you need to. Lift the chest. And then a little bit, you can slide out the stance. Lift your arms up. And then see if you can bend the elbows out to the sides. So it doesn't look like a whole lot, this posture, but I know for me it feels very, can feel like quite a deep back bend. It can feel quite like a deep posture. Yeah, so just notice how it feels to breathe here for one or two more. Good, and then release and circle your hands down to the ground. Well done. Back knee lifts up. Left arm lifts up. Press your right hand down. Lift and turn the chest. Good. And then look down towards the ground. 2 hands come down. Step back and come through child's pose now. So take the big toes together, take the knees wide. And go ahead and take your forehead down to the floor or onto a cushion or a block. So you can imagine feeling the sun on your back here and on the back of your head, on the backs of your hands. And then also a sense of drawing energy up through the earth. Good. And then let's come through a seat. So come through sitting and then make your way to lying down on your back. You might want to have a cushion or a block handy. So rolling down onto your back. And as with last week, we'll finish with a few moving bridge poses. So set up your feet, so bending the knees and taking the feet underneath the knees. Pressing your feet down into the ground. Start to peel the hips, the spine off the mat. And as you do that, you can lift and reach your arms back as well. And then on the exhale, everything comes down to the ground. So just keep moving through the postures. So breathing in, lifting, waving the arms back. And breathing out, everything comes down. So a few more times, inhaling. And exhaling, landing the shoulders, the back, the hips down. Inhale. And exhale. Let's make this your last one. And when you come up, you can stay up for a few breaths. So pressing the feet down into the ground. Lifting up through the hips. And then very slowly coming all the way down. Just shake the hips from side to side, so moving the knees, the thighs side to side. And then go ahead and bring your right knee into your chest and take the hands to the back of the thigh. Interlace the fingers. And just start to roll through that ankle there. So rolling a few times round one way. And a few times around the other way. And then for a couple of breaths, just flexing into the foot, pressing up through the heel. And if you have a bit more range of motion, perhaps you can slide your hands a little bit further up the leg or down the leg towards the ankle. You might even catch the big toe with your right hand. Good. And then take the right knee down, take the right foot down, and go ahead and change sides. So left knee comes into the chest. And take the hands to the back of the thigh, interlace the fingers. And then just rolling a few times slowly through the ankle. And then reverse the direction of the circles. Flexing into the foot. And then sliding your hands up the back of the leg. Perhaps catching a hold of the big toe, but just working in a way that feels reasonable for you today. Just taking a couple of breaths into the back of your left leg. And then when you're ready, slowly letting that come down. Sliding your legs out long. And let's come into a period of Shavasana here. So allowing the eyes to fall closed. And if you wish to, you can imagine yourself being bathed in sunlight. Feeling the continuous warmth of the sun on you. So taking a couple of deeper breaths, imagining breathing in sunlight. And imagine that you could breathe in that warmth all the way down into the tips of the fingers, all the way down into the tips of the toes. And then when you're ready, you can roll over to one side and gently sit all the way up. Just letting your eyes fall closed. And just noticing what the inner skies are like. Noticing whether there is any presence of sunlight. Maybe, maybe not. opening your eyes when you're ready. So we'll finish the class there. And as always, really, really lovely to see you all in the class, as it were. And thank you to those of you who practiced and for those of you who will practice the class in the future. So as always, we're really, really grateful for any donations that you can make to the centre, big or small, as they really allow us to keep on giving. So we run on a kind of culture here of sort of take what you need and give what you can. So we give as much as we can, and in order for us to help to be able to continue doing that and giving freely, giving to this project, giving to the centre, we rely on donations and ask that if you're in a position that you give what you can to help us continue to do the things we do here, to share the teachings and to kind of share connections with all of you. So yeah, thank you very much to everybody, and thank you to Ruth for being a wonderful tech host as ever. And yeah, we'll be back on Wednesday for more lunchtime YouTube yoga. Bye everyone.